So, what if this year could be the one? You know, the one where things actually change. Not through some kind of magic resolution, but because you decide it's going to. This isn't about magically finding more time. It's about deliberately rebuilding your ability to focus. So let's dive into a system for doing just that.
This quote, right from our first source, just nails it, doesn't it? It's all about intentionality. Your best year is not going to just happen to you. It's something you build one deliberate choice at a time. And the very first choice is to understand what's really been holding you back.
Let's be honest, we have all been here. You're stuck in that loop of procrastination that you tell yourself is planning, just waiting around for a big burst of motivation that, well, never quite shows up. But what if the reason we're stuck isn't what we think it is at all?
And our first source offers this powerful reframe. We tell ourselves this story that we just need more willpower, or more time, or more grit. But what if that's the wrong list entirely? What the evidence suggests we actually need are better systems. We need things that reduce the friction, that make it easier to just start. And, maybe a little more honesty with ourselves about what's really getting in the way.
Exactly. And this right here is the core diagnosis from our second source. And it is a total game changer. It reframes the entire problem. You're not lazy, you're overstimulated. Our brains have basically been rewired for constant distraction by this flood of pings and notifications. So the solution can't just be to try harder. The solution has to be a system designed to directly counter all that noise.
And that's the perfect setup. If the problem is that our environment is built to hijack our attention, then the solution has to be a whole new philosophy. We need a system designed for the world we actually live in, not the one we wish we had.
And that system is built around this amazing idea, an attention scaffold. I love this term because it's not just a bunch of random tips, it's a set of interconnected habits. Like a real scaffold, where each piece supports all the others. Together, they create this silent architecture for your focus, making deep work the path of least resistance, not some constant draining battle.
All right, so enough theory. Let's get into the playbook. This is where it all becomes real. We're gonna break down the 4 specific, actionable habits that actually form this attention scaffold.
The very first habit is the foundation of the whole thing. The same hour every day. And the key here is that this isn't about finding more time. It is about protecting one single hour and treating it like a non-negotiable appointment with your most important work.
The source material tells the story of Mira, a design student, and it shows this perfectly. She chose 1 hour every evening. Now, the first few days were a struggle, for sure, but her brain quickly learned the cue. That predictability completely removed the daily should I or shouldn't I debate, which, as we know, is a huge energy drain. Consistency created a runway for focus.
And this is absolutely something you can start tonight. It's incredibly simple. First, pick a realistic hour. Don't go crazy. Second, create a tiny 60-second ritual to signal the start. Could be closing your tabs, pouring a glass of water, anything. Third, remove your single biggest distraction. And fourth, when you're done, just write one sentence about how it felt. This isn't about perfection, it's about building the muscle.
Okay, so building that container for your focus is step 1. But once you're in that protected hour, a whole new battle begins, the one inside your head. Your brain starts screaming for a distraction. That brings us directly to the second and maybe the most challenging habit, treating boredom as a gateway.
I just love this insight. The source shares the story of Arjun, a developer who noticed that the restless urge to check his phone wasn't a sign he should stop. No, it was the feeling of his brain shifting gears into a deeper state of work. He learned that boredom wasn't the enemy of depth, it was the door you had to walk through to get there.
And the playbook for getting through that door is this beautifully simple microprocess. When the urge hits, first just name it silently. Ah, that's the checking urge. This creates distance. Second, wait 90 seconds without reacting. The source notes that most of these intense cravings just fade away if you don't feed them. Then third, just gently return to your task. You are actively retraining your attention span every time you do this.
So, you have your protected time, and you have a tool to manage distractions within it. But focus without clarity is just busy work. You can be incredibly focused on the wrong thing. And this is where the third habit comes in to fight that sense of overwhelm, the priority triangle.
This is just so relatable. The example of Hannah, a freelance writer, really hits home.
She felt like she was drowning in endless to-do lists. Her solution was to replace that long list with just 3 major outcomes for the entire week. This radical simplification didn't just organize her work, it freed her from the constant anxiety of what to do next.
And here's how you can build it tonight. 1. Write down the 3 most important things you need to get done this week. 2. Frame them as done looks like to make them really concrete. And 3. Each day, your protected hour is anchored to moving just one of those things forward. It's all about replacing frantic activity with focused progress.
Okay, we are building a really powerful system here. We have the time, the focus, and the direction. But there's one final piece of the scaffold that we almost always forget, and it's what determines whether our efforts actually stick. It's the 4th habit, the finish line ritual.
This quote about Layla, a marketer, is so insightful. She used to finish a big task and immediately reward herself by scrolling social media. Sound familiar? But it always left her feeling drained. By creating a deliberate pause at the end, she gave her brain a chance to consolidate the work into memory and actually feel a sense of accomplishment instead of just seeking the next cheap dopamine hit.
And your ritual can be just 3 minutes long. The source suggests 4 steps. First, note what you moved forward. Second, identify one lesson you learned. Third, take a micro celebration, a short walk, a deep breath, whatever works. And finally, and this is a big one, create a screen-free boundary for at least 20 minutes. This little act of closure is what turns today's effort into long-term momentum.
So there you have it, the diagnosis of overstimulation and the 4 habits of the attention scaffold designed to fight it. Now, the goal isn't just to understand these ideas, it's about making them real. And the best way to do that is to start small.
This 7-day starter plan from the source material is the perfect low-friction way to begin. It's not about doing everything at once. Day 1 is just choosing your hour. That's it. On day 2, you just practice naming the urge when it appears. Each day adds one small piece to the scaffold, building momentum without the overwhelm. And that really brings us to the end. These 4 habits, a protected hour, tolerating boredom, clarifying your priorities, and a finishing ritual, they all weave together, and they compound over time. This isn't about one dramatic overnight transformation. It's about the quiet consistency of daily choices. So the only question left is the one right there on your screen. It's the first and most important choice. Which hour will you protect this week?